Lassie Farm. This is episode 8 of Ted Chiang's novel Understand, from where we left off. I know my body afresh, as if it were an amputee's stump, suddenly replaced by a watchmaker's hand. Controlling my voluntary muscles is trivial. I have inhuman coordination. Skills that normally require thousands of repetitions to develop, I can learn in 2 or 3. I find a video with a shot of a pianist's hands playing, and before long I can duplicate his finger movements without a keyboard in front of me. Selective contraction and relaxation of muscles improves my strength and flexibility. Muscular response time is 35 milliseconds for conscious or reflex action. Learning acrobatics or martial arts would require little training. I have somatic awareness of kidney function, nutrient absorption, glandular secretions. I am even conscious of the role that neurotransmitters play in my thoughts. This state of consciousness involves mental activity more intense than any epinephrine-boosted stress situation. Part of my mind is maintaining a condition that would kill a normal mind and body within minutes. As I adjust the programming of my mind, I experience the ebb and flow of all the substances that trigger my emotional reactions, boost my attention, or subtly shape my attitudes. And then I look outward. Blinding, joyous, fearful symmetry surrounds me. So much is incorporated within patterns now that the entire universe verges on resolving itself into a picture. I'm closing in on the ultimate gestalt, the context in which all knowledge fits and is illuminated. A mandala, the music of the spheres. Cosmos. I seek enlightenment, not spiritual, but rational. I must go still further to reach it, but this time the goal will not be perpetually retreating from my fingertips. With my mind's language, the distance between myself and enlightenment is precisely calculable. I've sighted my final destination. Now I must plan my next actions. First, there are simple enhancements to self-preservation, starting with martial arts training. I will watch some tournaments to study possible attacks. Though I can take only defensive action, I can move rapidly enough to avoid contact with even the fastest striking techniques. This will let me protect myself and disarm any street criminals should I be assaulted. Meanwhile, I must eat copious amounts of food to meet my brain's nourishment requirements. Even given increased efficiency in my metabolism, I shall also shave my scalp to allow greater radiative cooling for the heightened blood flow to my head. Then there's the primary goal, decoding those patterns. For further improvements to my mind, artificial enhancements are the only possibility. A direct mind-computer link permitting mind downloading is what I need, but I must create a new technology to implement it. Anything based on digital computation will be inadequate. What I have in mind requires nanoscale structures based on neural networks. Once I have the basic ideas laid out, I set my mind to multiprocessing. One section of my mind deriving a branch of mathematics that reflects the network's behavior, another developing a process for replicating the formation of neural pathways on a molecular scale in a self-repairing bioceramic medium, a third devising tactics for guiding private industrial R&D to produce what I'll need. I cannot waste time. I will introduce explosive theoretical and technical breakthroughs so that my new industry will hit the ground running. I've gone into the outside world to re-observe society. The sign language of emotion I once knew has been replaced by a matrix of interrelated equations. Lines of force twist and elongate between people, objects, institutions, ideas. The individuals are tragically like marionettes, independently animate but bound by a web they choose not to see. They could resist if they wished, but so few of them do. At the moment I'm sitting at a bar. 3 stools to my right sits a man, familiar with this type of establishment, who looks around and notices a couple in a dark corner booth. He smiles, motions for the bartender to come over, and leans forward to speak confidently about the couple. I don't need to listen to know what he's saying. He's lying to the bartender easily, extemporaneously. A compulsive liar, not out of a desire for a life more exciting than his own, but to revel in his facility for deceiving others. He knows the bartender is detached, merely affecting interest, which is true, but he knows the bartender is still fooled, which is also true. My sensitivity to the body language of others has increased to the point that I can make these observations without sight or sound. I can smell the pheromones exuded by his skin. To an extent, my muscles can even detect the tension within his, perhaps by their electric field. These channels can't convey precise information, but the impressions I receive provide ample basis for extrapolation. They add texture to the web. Normal humans may detect these emanations subliminally. I'll work on becoming more attuned to them. Then perhaps I can try consciously controlling my own expressions. I've developed abilities reminiscent of the mind control schemes offered by tabloid advertisements. My control over my somatic emanations now lets me provoke precise reactions in others. With pheromones and muscle tension, I can cause another person to respond with anger, fear, sympathy, or sexual arousal. Certainly enough to win friends and influence people. I can even induce a self-sustaining reaction in others. By associating a particular response with a sense of satisfaction, I can create a positive reinforcement loop, like biofeedback. The person's body will strengthen the reaction on its own. I'll use this on corporate presidents to create support for the industries I'll need. I can no longer dream in any normal sense. I lack anything that would qualify as subconscious, and I control all the maintenance functions performed by my brain. So normal REM sleep tasks are obsolete. There are moments when my grasp on my mind slips, but they cannot be called dreams. Meta hallucinations, perhaps. Sheer torture. These are periods during which I'm detached. I understand how my mind generates the strange visions. And we will leave it there. Thanks for listening.